Good morning everyone. This is class 12th, subject chemistry, chapter 6, P block elements, lecture number 5. In this lecture, I will be discussing the occurrence, atomic and physical properties and chemical reactivity of group 16 elements. After that, I will discuss the compounds of oxygen, that is dioxygen, and in the end of this lecture, I will be discussing the homework that I gave you in lecture number 4. Now we will start with the chemistry of group 16 elements, and the general electronic configuration for group 16 elements is Ns2Np4. That is, in group 16 the valence electronic configuration is Ns2Np4. It means that in valence shell the number of electrons are 6. In group 16 we have oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium and polonium. So these are the elements which are present in group 16. This group 16 is also known as chalcogens. So first of all we will discuss the occurrence of group 16 elements, and after that we will discuss the atomic and the physical properties of group 16 elements. Now first we start with the occurrence of group 16 elements. Now first is oxygen. Oxygen is the most abundant of all the elements on earth, and oxygen forms about 46.6% by mass of the earth crust, and dry air also contains 20.94% oxygen by volume. So this is the percentage of occurrence of nitrogen in earth crust and as well as in atmosphere. Now when we talk about the occurrence of sulfur, so sulfur in earth crust is only about 0.03 to 0.1%, and the combined sulfur exists as sulfates and sulfides. Example, we have calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate. So in combined form this sulfur it exists as sulfates and also in the form of sulfides. Example is zinc sulfide, lead sulfide, and this is our copper pyrides. So in combined form it will exist in the form of sulfates and sulfides. Now the sulfur it is also present in organic materials like eggs and proteins. Now next when we talk about the occurrence of selenium and tellurium. So this selenium and tellurium are also found as metal selenides and tellurides in sulfides ore. So this is all about the occurrence of group 16 element. Now we will discuss the atomic properties of group 16. So first property is electronic configuration. So the electronic configuration for group 16 elements is Ns2Np4, that is the outermost shell contains 6 electrons and when we move from oxygen to sulfur to selenium, the value of this principal quantum number changes. For example, the atomic number of oxygen is 8, so the outermost electronic configuration is 2s2 2p4, and for sulfur it is 3s2 3p4. So when we move from sulfur to selenium, so the value of N will be changed to 4. So in case of oxygen the value of N will be 2, in sulfur the value of N equal to 3, in selenium the value of N will be 4. Next property is atomic radii. Now when we move in group 16 from oxygen to sulfur and then from sulfur to selenium and selenium to tellurium and from tellurium to polonium, the atomic radii increases, and the reason is when we move from top to bottom there is addition of new shell. For example, in case of oxygen the outermost shell is N equals to 2, but when we move from oxygen to sulfur the value of N will be 3, that is outermost value of N is 3. So when we move in group 16 top to bottom, the value of N will increase, that is there is addition of new shell when we move from top to bottom, and that is why the radii increases from oxygen to polonium. Next property is ionization enthalpy. So the trend of ionization enthalpy is it decreases down the group. That is, when we move from oxygen to polonium in group 16, the value of ionization enthalpy decreases. But when we compare the ionization enthalpy of group 15 to group 16, so the value for ionization enthalpy for group 15 is higher as compared to group 16, and this can be explained on the electronic configuration. That is, the general electronic configuration for group 15 is Ns2Np3, whereas for group 16 it is Ns2Np4. So this is the stable half-filled configuration, and therefore it is difficult to remove the electron from a half-filled stable configuration. That is why the ionization enthalpy of group 15, first ionization enthalpy of group 15 is more as compared to group 16, because in p subshell we have 3 orbitals, and here this p orbital is half filled, and therefore it is difficult to remove the electron from a half filled stable configuration, and this is the reason that ionization enthalpy of group 15 is more as compared to group 16. Next property is electron gain enthalpy. Now, group 16 elements have general electronic configuration Ns2Np4. Therefore, group 16 have 2 electrons less than the nearest noble gas configuration. That is, after adding 2 electrons, group 16 elements, they will attain the configuration of noble gas, and therefore they have high tendency to accept 2 additional electrons, and hence has large negative value of electron gain enthalpy. But when we compare the electron gain enthalpy of group 16 elements, it was found that the oxygen has least negative value among all the group members, and sulfur has more negative value than oxygen. The reason is oxygen being smaller in size, therefore due to small size of this 2p orbital, it is difficult to add electron in oxygen. Whereas in case of sulfur, the value of n, that is principal quantum number, is 3. Therefore, it is easy to add electron in sulfur because of large size of sulfur. And in case of oxygen, when we add electron in this 2p, so because of small size of oxygen, they will experience repulsion. And because of this oxygen has least negative value among group 16 elements. So the trend of electron gain enthalpy, it decreases down the group, but when we compare the electron gain enthalpy for oxygen and sulfur, so it has more negative value as compared to oxygen, and the reason is because of small size of oxygen, it is difficult to add electron in oxygen. Because of small size of oxygen, the additional electron, it will experience repulsion in this 2p orbital, and that is why it has less negative value than sulfur. So this is the trend of electron gain enthalpy. Next is electronegativity. So electronegativity is the tendency to attract shared pair of electron, and the trend is in group 16 it decreases down the group. That is, oxygen is the most electronegative element in the group because of small size of oxygen and high nuclear charge. It has tendency to attract shared pair of electrons, and in group 16 it is the most electronegative element. So these are the atomic properties of group 16. Now we will discuss physical properties of group 16 elements. So first is the two members of group 16. First two members of group 16, they are known metals, that is oxygen and sulfur are known metals, selenium and tellurium are metalloids, and polonium is a metal. Next is all the elements of group 16, they exhibit allotropy, that is they have different forms of their For example, O2, it exists in the form of, for oxygen, the allotropic forms are O2 and O3. And similarly, we have different allotropic forms of sulfur. So the group 16 elements all show allotropy. Next is melting and boiling point. So in group 16, melting and boiling point increases with increase in atomic number. Now, one important point is that there is large difference in the melting and boiling point of oxygen and sulfur, and the reason is explained. That is, when we compare the melting point of oxygen and sulfur, so the melting point of oxygen is 55 and for sulfur it is 393. So there is a large difference in the melting point, and similarly we have large difference in the boiling point. The reason is that oxygen, it exists as O2, whereas sulfur exists as S8 molecule. And because of difference in the structure of O2 and S8, we have large difference in the melting point and boiling point of oxygen and sulfur. For other elements, we can explain when we move down in a group, van der Waals force increases, and due to increase in van der Waals forces, the melting and boiling point increases with increase in atomic number. Next, we will discuss the chemical properties of group 16 elements. So first chemical property of group 16 elements is oxidation state. So in group 16, oxygen shows -2 oxidation state, and only in a few cases like in OF2, the oxidation state of oxygen is +2. Oxygen is the first member of group 16 and it generally shows -2 oxidation state. Only in some cases positive oxidation state is shown by oxygen. Next is the tendency of oxidation state -2 decreases down the group, that is polonium, which is the last element of group 16, hardly shows -2 oxidation state, and the reason is, as we have discussed in physical property, that polonium is a metal. So metal generally shows positive oxidation state, and that is why polonium hardly shows -2 oxidation state, or you can say -2 is not shown by polonium. Next is other elements of this group exhibit +2, +4, +6 oxidation state, but +4 and +6 are common for heavier elements, that is for sulfur, selenium, tellurium. These +4 and +6 are common, and out of +4 and +6, selenium and polonium, they will exhibit +4 oxidation state, that is +4 is more stable for selenium and for tellurium and polonium. Now the sulfur and the selenium shows +4 oxidation state in compounds with oxygen and +6 with fluorine, just as in these two examples. Here we have SO2. So when sulfur combines with oxygen, generally it shows +4 oxidation state, but +6 is shown when it combines with fluorine. Next we have stability of +6 oxidation state decreases down the group due to inert pair effect. This we have discussed in group 15 also, that due to the presence of D and F electrons, these NS2 electron, they will not participate in the bond formation, and that is why the oxidation number for lower elements is 2 unit less. That is, in case of tellurium and polonium, +4 oxidation state is more stable, and that is why in lower elements of group 16, +4 oxidation state is more stable, because due to inert pair effect, only these 4 electrons, they will participate in the bond formation, and that is why for lower elements of group 16, +4 oxidation state is more stable. So in oxidation state, oxygen shows -2 oxidation state, and the tendency of -2 oxidation state decreases down the group, that is polonium hardly shows -2 oxidation state. Other elements shows +2, +4 and +6, whereas +4 is possible, +4 oxidation state in those compounds in which we have oxygen, and in +6, and +6 is shown when the compound is formed with fluorine, just as in case of SO2 and SF6. Next is the stability of +6 oxidation state decreases down the group due to inert pair effect. That is, due to inert pair effect, only these 4 electrons they will participate in the bond formation, and that is why for the lower elements of group 16, +4 oxidation state is more stable. So next we have anomalous behavior of oxygen. So oxygen being the first member of group 16, it has smallest size, highest electronegativity, and absence of d orbital, because electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So for n equals to 2, d is not possible. That is why there is absence of d orbital in case of oxygen, whereas other members has d orbitals. Next is this oxygen, it forms p-pi multiple bonds with itself and with other elements like carbon, and d-pi p-pi bonding is not possible in case of oxygen. So this is about the anomalous behavior of oxygen. Next we will discuss the reactivity with hydrogen. So first is reactivity with hydrogen. So group 16 elements form H2E type of hydrides, that is H2O, H2S, H2Se, H2Te, H2PO. So H2E types of hydrides are formed by group 16 elements. Now first we will explain the acidic order of these hydrides. So when we compare the acidic order of these hydrides, H2O is least acidic, whereas H2PO, that is the hydride of polonium, is most acidic. And the reason is explained on the basis of EH bond strength. Now when we move from oxygen to polonium, that is when we move down in a group, the size of the central atom increases, and therefore the EH bond strength decreases. That is, in case of H2PO, the bond between PO and H is very weak, and therefore it is easy to remove the hydrogen as H positive ions. And that is why the acidic character is most for polonium, that is the hydride of polonium, and least for H2O. So when we move down in a group, the reactivity with hydrogen is that it forms H2E type hydride, and the acidic order increases when we move from oxygen to polonium. Next we have thermal stability order. Now the thermal stability order is reverse of acidic order, that is H2O, H2S, H2Se, H2Te. Now here when we move from oxygen to tellurium, what will happen? The size of the central atom increases, and therefore the strength of EH bond decreases. That is why from here we can say that H2O is more stable, or in other words we can say that the bond between oxygen and hydrogen is difficult to break as compared to the bond between hydrogen and tellurium. Therefore the thermal stability order is H2O is most stable, then H2S, then H2Se, and then H2Te. Now next is reducing character. So thermal stability is inversely proportional to reducing character. The hydride which is thermally stable has less reducing character, because again reducing character is also depend upon the strength of H and E, and the hydride in which H and E bond strength is weaker, that will behave as good reducing agent, or that has good reducing power. So in hydride of group 16, H2Te, it has most reducing character, whereas H2O is least reducing. So these are the three properties of these hydride. Acidic order, H2O is least acidic, H2PO is most acidic. Next is thermal stability. H2O is most thermal stable, and H2Te is least stable. Third is reducing character is H2Te is most reducing, whereas H2O is least reducing. So next we have structure of hydrides. So these hydrides have the structure. Here is E, that is central atom. In case of water it is oxygen, and these are two hydrogen attached to the central atom. Now the bond angle between these hydrogen, oxygen and hydrogen is 104.5, and these hydride contain two lone pairs of electron. And the hybridization of the central atom is sp3, and the shape of this is V shape or bent V shape. Next we have catenation. So catenation power of oxygen is less than that of sulfur, because oxygen single bond is weaker as compared to sulfur single bond, and that is why sulfur has higher catenation power than oxygen. Next property is reactivity with oxygen. So group 16 form EO2 and EO3 type of hydride. O3, SO2 are gases, whereas the oxide of selenium is solid. Next, sulfur dioxide is reducing, that is also the oxides of group 16, while TeO2 is oxidizing agent. Now we will explain this on the basis of oxidation number. Here the oxidation number of sulfur is +4, so it can oxidize its oxidation state up to 6. So +4 to +6 means oxidation, and that is why it is reducing, or you can say that it is used as a reducing agent. While in case of TeO2, the oxidation number is again also 4. But in lower elements, due to inert pair effect, +4 oxidation state is more stable, or you can say that it cannot oxidize its oxidation state up to 6. That is why this TeO2 is used as oxidizing agent, and this SO2 is used as reducing. Sulfur, selenium, tellurium also form EO3 type of oxide. So group 16 elements form EO2 and EO3 types of oxides. Now next we have reactivity towards halogen. So group 16 elements form EX6, EX4 and EX2 type of halides, where X is halogen atom. So first, in case of EX6, that is in case of hexa halides, only hexafluorides are stable, that is when this X is fluorine, that is EF6 is only stable hexafluorides, and the shape of EX6 is octahedral. This you can calculate by Vesper theory. When the central atom has 6 bond pair of electron and 0 lone pair, then the shape is octahedral shape, and all these halides are gaseous in nature. Next we have EX4. So in EX4 type halides, this is SF4. It is a gas, whereas the fluoride of selenium is liquid and the fluoride of tellurium is a solid. And again we can also calculate the hybridization and geometry for EX4. The hybridization of the central atom is sp3d in case of EX4, and the geometry is trigonal bipyramidal. But in this EX4 we have 1 lone pair of electron. So when we have 4 bond pair and 1 lone pair, then the shape is seesaw. For example, if we have SF4, so the central atom is sulfur and 4 fluorine are forming bond with this sulfur. Now in sulfur we have 6 valence electron. So out of those 6 electron, 4 will form bond with this 4 chlorine, and 1 pair of electron is left, and that is why the shape is seesaw. We can draw the seesaw shape in this. This is our seesaw. We will place 1 pair of electron at equatorial position. These 3 positions are known as equatorial position, and these 2 are axial position. So when we have lone pair of electron, so we will place lone pairs on equatorial position to minimize repulsion. So this is the seesaw shape when we have 4 bond pair and 1 lone pair of electron in sp3d, then the shape is seesaw. Next we have EX2. So selenium does not form EX2 where X is chlorine and bromine. Other elements form EX2 types and selenium does not form EX2 type of halides. So next we will discuss the compounds of group 16 elements, and the first is dioxygen. So first we will start with the preparation of dioxygen. First preparation of dioxygen is it can be prepared by heating the salt of chlorates. This is the salt of chlorate, potassium chlorate. When we heat this potassium chlorate, here we are getting our oxygen. So this is the one method by which we can prepare dioxygen. Next method is dioxygen can be also prepared by thermal decomposition of metal oxides. So this is the metal oxide of silver. So when we do the thermal decomposition, again we are getting our dioxygen. Third preparation is hydrogen peroxide is readily decomposed into water and dioxygen by catalysts such as finely divided metals and manganese dioxide. That is, in the presence of catalyst, when we do the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, again here we are getting our dioxygen. So these are the three preparation methods for dioxygen, and on large scale it can be prepared from air and water. That is, electrolysis of water leads to the release of hydrogen at the cathode and oxygen gas is released at anode. So by the electrolysis of water we can also produce dioxygen gas. So next is properties of dioxygen. First property is it is colorless and odorless gas. Next is this oxygen has three stable isotopes, O16, 17 and 18, and the molecular dioxygen is paramagnetic in nature. This we can understand by drawing the molecular orbital diagram for O2. Next property is this dioxygen, it can react with metals, non-metals, except a few cases that this oxygen, it does not react with gold, platinum and some noble gases. That is, with these oxygen does not react. Next is, in some cases, in the presence of catalyst, the reactions are catalyzed, or you can say compounds are catalytically oxidized. For example, in case of sulfur dioxide, when we treat sulfur dioxide with oxygen in presence of V2O5, this is a catalyst. So here we are getting SO3. So these are the reactions of dioxygen. Now next is uses of dioxygen. So first use is it is used in the combustion reactions. Next is this oxygen is also used for welding purposes, and in hospitals it is used in the form of oxygen cylinders. So this is all about the preparation, properties and uses of dioxygen. Now I will be discussing the homework that I gave you in lecture number 4. First question is, give the disproportionation reaction of H3PO3. H3PO3 is phosphorus acid. Now it will disproportionate into PH3 and H3PO4. In H3PO4, the oxidation number of phosphorus is +3, whereas in PH3 the oxidation number of phosphorus is -3, and in H3PO4 the oxidation number of phosphorus is +5. And disproportionation reaction is in which the same element undergo oxidation as well as reduction. So in this reaction, phosphorus, it is undergoing oxidation as well as reduction. That is, +3 to +5 is oxidation, and from +3 to -3 is reduction. So this is the disproportionation reaction of H3PO3. Next question is, can PCl5 act as oxidizing agent as well as reducing agent? You have to justify this statement. The answer for this question is, first of all we will calculate the oxidation number of phosphorus in PCl5, and it comes out to be +5. So here phosphorus is present in its maximum oxidation state, that is +5, and therefore it cannot show beyond +5 oxidation state. Therefore it can reduce from +5 to +3 or any other oxidation state, and therefore this PCl5 it acts as oxidizing agent, and the reaction is PCl5 plus H2 is giving PCl3 plus 2HCl. So here the oxidation number of phosphorus is +5 and here we have +3. So +5 to +3 is reduction, and the element in which reduction takes place that will behave as good oxidizing agent. So here it oxidizes hydrogen to H positive, that is in here we have 0 oxidation number for hydrogen, and in case of HCl we have +1 oxidation state, that is for hydrogen. In HCl the oxidation number is +1. So that is why this PCl5 it can only act as oxidizing agent. So these are the two questions I gave you in lecture number 4. And the homework for lecture number 5 is you will solve question number 17th, 18th and 19th of NCERT exercise. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.